Hello, everyone. I was a two-year wrestler in Beechwood, and like everyone said, I remember the first day Lauren came to practice. I wasn't the greatest of wrestlers, but somehow Lauren was able to bring the greatness out of me. And whether I won or
particularly some of the other people who come up here. I remember when it kind of started with Ryan Peters. He came down to the middle school, and I was, like I am today, this tall, lanky kid, and I had no business being on the mat. I should have been on the courts. Ryan came down here, and he's like, "You gotta come. You gotta give this a chance." And I remember my first day of practice. I came, and I was one of those kids who came in tennis shoes and jeans. You all know the kid. And everyone's like, "Form up, grab a guy, and we're gonna go our first full-go match." And you know, Beechwood really never had the bigger guys, so I scoped the room out and couldn't find anyone. And Lauren was there. This guy with a cut-off ponytail, and I was like, and I had been getting beat up during drills, so I was like, kind of looked around. I saw Lauren, and I'm like, okay, here's someone I can beat up. Bad idea. It was 6 minutes of hell. He beat me up. And I was in tears. And all he did after the match is he just pulled me aside and he just talked to me. He told me, this is what you did wrong. This is what you need to do. And he saw in my eyes that that was my first and my last practice. He saw that I was going to quit. And he just would not let me go. I don't even think I came to the second practice that day or the next day. I think he searched me out, and I guess it was day 3 that I came back. And as time went on, I just came to practice after practice, and he just every day worked with me. And fast forward, high school, junior year, I actually was somewhat of a decent wrestler, I like to believe, and the state finals came, and I don't have any words to explain the moment, and we were in the hotel room, and it's no secret that I look up to Mike Lister. I don't know where he's at against him, but he was like my hero. Kid was the coolest guy I ever beat up at everybody. And in the hotel room, and like Coach Lazar said, him and Ryan were getting in. And I love these guys. And it came to a point where it was, who do I choose in my corner? Coach I had number 1 seed. And then it was between these 2 guys. And I remember Lister came up to the hotel room, and I asked him, I was like, I don't know, I love these 2 guys. Who should I have in my chair? And he said, well, you know what? If I had it all over to do it again, it would be Lauren. And my heart stopped, and I felt this moment of shame that I did not think of Lauren. Because he loved me so much, he picked me up every day from my house because he made sure I was doing what I needed to do to get to that point, to be on that mat, to be in front of those people. And it was hard for me when I finally actually got the words, because I didn't want to disappoint Ryan. I didn't want to disappoint Lazar. They had worked with me so much, but I said I want Lauren in my corner. It's not because it was like a handout or anything stupid like that. It's because he just deserved it. What made Lauren so special to me, and I think all of us know this, is Lauren has this thing where he gravitates towards the kids who maybe weren't the best wrestlers. Those are the kids who just, like me, want to quit after day 1, day 2. Lauren just wouldn't let them go. He would not let them go. There were so many kids that stuck with the sport and had a sense, they just developed this sense of being, a sense of purpose on the team because Lauren wouldn't let them go. young man I am today. I'll cut this off. I'm not going to go long, but I'm hands down, the happiest times of my life were those moments when I was on the mats. A lot of these guys I'm looking at now, a lot of these parents, I can't remember a time when I've been so happy in my life. And you were immediately one of the biggest parts of that. Thank you so much. That's all I have.
All right, so those of you that don't know me, I'm Ryan Peters. I had the opportunity and the privilege to coach with Lauren for, was it 10, 12 years, something like that. And before I even get into this, I want to thank Michael Linsky. Where's Michael? Where's Michael at? Michael's back there. Michael put this whole party together, and you know, Michael, you did a beautiful job. What's really special about this afternoon is there's so many cool people here. I mean, I haven't seen Takara in years. I haven't seen Gerald Hunt in years. Michael Blackwell. It's just, you brought some beautiful people together. So here's my little story about Lauren. I was a pretty regimented coach. I wanted things done a certain way. Let's hit this technique today. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And I had the opportunity to work with Evan Lazar and Dominic and Lauren. And I don't know, I sort of wanted it my way, and Dominic was great at sort of reeling me in. Hey, we'll do this, we'll get to it. And, you know, I had a tough time with some kids on our team. And, you know, in my role today, I'm an athletic director at Beechwood. I learned something very, very valuable from Lauren. You know, there were some kids that didn't fit into my norm, into my box. One of them is Anthony Caruso and Brandon Curtis, and they just didn't fit. They wanted to do other things, and there were kids that were a little bit more wild and doing, you know, this is the way we're going to do it, guys. And, you know, I had a tough time dealing with those guys. And Lauren, those were the guys that he gravitated to and really connected with. It was very hard for me. If it was up to me, I probably would have, me and Lazar probably would have kicked them out and said, no, you know, you're not, it's not what we want. But, you know, Lauren stuck behind those guys. And, you know, we kind of rallied those guys in, and then eventually they did buy in. And, you know, the 2003 season was pretty darn cool. And, you know, to hear Michael Blackwell talk about that state finals match, and, you know, yeah, it was phenomenal. I was so happy that he did chose you to be in this corner. But, you know, you taught me something very valuable. And this is what I go through with a lot of my coaches is, you know, we're here to help kids. That's it. And, you know, the kid is struggling somehow, some way, fix them. So, you know, I owe that to you. Thank you.
So I'm Scott Peters. I'm Ryan's little brother. And so I feel, I'm going to, when I speak, I always speak too long. Okay, I'm verbose, and I always stay too long. I'll try not to do it today, but I'm sure I will. So just bear with me. But I feel that all of you owe me a debt of gratitude. And the reason is I feel like I was really instrumental in getting Lauren back to Beechwood and getting her involved. So aside from the tooth incident, which that whole thing has grown out of proportion. However, it was an amazing event. But when I was coaching at Beechwood, I started alumni practice. So we would bring back all these alumni on the Tuesday of districts, and we would put 2 or 3 or 4 alumni on each of the district qualifiers, and every minute they would rotate in on. So I invited Lauren, because I remembered Lauren from when he had come back in 1981, and he came back, and he was just so into it, and so unbelievable. His passion was, you couldn't miss it. I still have a videotape of one of the alumni matches against Columbia, where all the Beechwood alumni came down, and they all got recognized, and Lauren comes down and he's high-fiving everybody, and it was just, you know, the picture of excitement when it came to wrestling. So I learned one very valuable lesson, maybe many, but one very valuable lesson, and I think it's in great part, if not completely, owed to you. And that is what it is to be a man. Okay? So I'm going to tell you I'll try and make them quick, two quick stories. Both of them express it in some way. So, and I was thinking on my way here, Lauren is like a storyteller's fantasy, because you could just tell stories about Lauren all day. There's just so many amazing opportunities to talk about. So, which ones to pick? But I really think the lesson that you taught me can be expressed in two short stories. One is one day, and you'll forgive me if I screw up these details a little bit, because it is a little foggy, and you'll all understand why in a minute. So one day, Lauren's up at Open Mats, and there's not a shriek, because Lauren couldn't shriek, it was more of a growl. I mean, Lauren to me is the closest thing to Neanderthal we still have. And, you know, with a ponytail, and, you know, and so I'm like, Lauren, what's wrong? What's wrong? He's like, oh, dude, my foot. So I happen to be a foot doctor, right? So I come over and I look, and his foot is pointing almost backwards. His foot and ankle are completely dislocated. And I'm like, Lauren, that is bad. He's like, dude, just get me some ice. Just get me some ice. So I'm thinking, Lauren, this is not an ice thing. This is a surgical ankle right here. I said, this is bad. I said, we're going to my office. We're going to take some x-rays. Oh, dude, no, I'm not going to your office. I said, why not? He says, because you're not doing surgery on me. This will be okay. Just give it a few days, it'll be okay. I'm like, Lauren, that's not going anywhere. That foot is on backwards. So I think we went to my office and took some x-rays. Whatever it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. And Lauren was gone from the wrestling room probably the longest you've been since you got back into it. Maybe 3, 4, 5 weeks, something like that. And one day I see him, and he's coming around the corner. This was when we practiced behind the bleachers. And he's coming around the corner, and he's, you know, hobbling, and his foot is still pointing south, and he's walking north. And so he comes over, and I'm like, Lauren, you got to do something about that foot. He's like, no, it's getting better. It's really just getting better. It doesn't hurt half as much. So okay, this is where it gets a little foggy, but I can tell you the next thing I know, he's laughing in my ear. He's hysterical, laughing. Dude, Scott, Doc, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. This is crazy. I said, what's going on? He's like, look at my foot. And I look at his foot, and he's pointing straight. And I said, what happened? He said, I fell on his back, and my foot is straight. So, Lauren, his ability to handle tough situations, right? Like a master, right? So, the next story. So, early on in our relationship, when we were starting to get him to come up to Open Mats, and he was really starting to take to it, I called him at his office, and any of you that know me well know that sometimes when I call you on the phone, I could be a different person, I could be a different character, and I could have a whole spiel for you, and you won't even know what's going on. So I called Lauren, and I said something along the lines in a disguised voice. I said, yeah, is this Radnick? He says, yeah. I said, I used to wrestle for St. Joe's in 1970. I remember you. And I said, is there Open Mats anywhere? And he's like, oh, yeah, dude, there's Open Mats. You can come up to Beechwood. So I proceeded to tell him, I don't swear anymore, but in the worst imaginable language, I told him what I was going to do to him. And I said, are you afraid of me? And he said, no, I'm not afraid of you. And I said, but I'm going to come up there and I'm going to kick your butt. And he's like, that's great. And I'm torturing him verbally, and